What's up everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out. Today we're going to compare the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 with the Google Pixel 3 XL and the iPhone XS Max. So exciting. Alright, so we're going to compare the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 with the Google Pixel 3 XL in 3 different isolated tests, just to keep it simple. So we're going to compare the video quality while it's handheld versus the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 on their native camera apps, as well as the DJI Go app to see if there's any digital stabilization discrepancy. After that, we're going to move on to the motion time-lapse, and then at the very end, we're going to compare the active tracking with the DJI Go app. So sit back, get comfortable, and enjoy.
crying little.
Alright everybody, so just to share a little bit of my thoughts, both phones performed fantastic. I actually was very surprised with the Google Pixel 3 XL and how well the handheld stabilization works. I was actually using just one hand, and I'm pretty sure that if I would have used both hands for this specific test, the results would have been even greater. One thing that I personally disliked about the optical image stabilization on most Android devices is the fact that it's a little robotic. It's a little bit more like, like, I don't know, it's like floaty robot. But nonetheless, when you implement a little bit of conservative walking, like you walk in softly, one foot in front of the other, you can get fantastic results. If you're on the go, you need to capture a quick sliding transition or just a little clip walking forward, you're definitely going to get some really good results with the Google Pixel 3 XL and the iPhone XS Max. Now, in my opinion, both front-facing cameras performed fantastically. I do appreciate how now the iPhone XS Max films at 60 frames per second in the front-facing camera. I've been wanting something like that for the longest time because that's the camera that I often use to vlog. And I'm going to be honest with you, I barely use the DJI Go app. I go straight to the camera app because it's more practical, it's faster, and it fits my style of filmmaking when I'm on the go. Having said that, on the Google Pixel, you have that amazing secondary front-facing camera, and I feel that's a great tool for those of you who are going to use this phone for vlogging or capturing a lot of front-facing camera photos and videos. It just gives you so much more. It's like having a selfie stick, but you could use a DJI Osmo Mobile or any other gimbal, for example, and don't have to worry about pushing it too far, which in turn affects the audio. So I actually like that you can get more of a wide field of view without sacrificing the proximity of you versus the phone, and the audio doesn't get that compromised. It's super useful. But definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below if you're a fan of the wide angle camera that Google has placed on the Google Pixel 3 XL. Now, motion time-lapse on both devices looks fantastic. The only major difference that I could personally notice was the actual difference in the video capture itself. I do appreciate and like a little bit more of the warmness and the sharpness on iPhone XS Max, but it is amazing that both of them performed really well, very similar as far as going from point A to point B. The settings on the DJI Go app are very, very similar, and it looks really, really good. Let me know what is your preference in the motion time-lapse area. Now, one of the features that is absent on the Android counterpart, I encountered this with the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, and now of course on the Google Pixel, is the lack of the slow motion mode. But because the DJI Osmo connects directly to the smartphone, you can actually bypass that hurdle by using the native camera app. The native camera app on the Google Pixel 3 XL can shoot up to 240 frames per second, and when you connect the gimbal directly to the phone, you can easily switch back and forth and capture those awesome slow-mo shots. On the active tracking department, I feel that the iOS counterpart of the DJI Go app performed much better. I personally don't know if it has to do with the fact that the app has been optimized on iOS. Having said that, I was very surprised that it worked that well on Android because I've tried in other smartphones and it's been very spotty. Make sure you check my previous comparison video so you can have some context to what I'm saying. But when comparing both of them, they work. On Android, it works. Now, if you're using the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 with your Google Pixel 3 XL and you're doing active tracking, you're definitely going to be able to capture your subject, and it did a fantastic job comparing previous phones that I've tested. Now, on the iOS side of things, I find it very, very snappy, a little bit more trustworthy. I feel comfortable and confident that when I do active tracking, the gimbal's not going to miss me as much as it did on the Google Pixel side of things. But I could see how these gimbals can perform even better under the appropriate lighting conditions. Now, comparing these two smartphones, aside from the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 performance, is the fact that the iPhone XS Max can shoot at 4K 60 frames per second. Now, personally, I don't gravitate towards 4K 60 as much yet because of the file size, and most of my videos are being consumed on smartphones as well. So as far as editing and storing files, I personally shoot at 1080 60 frames per second. I do 60 frames per second because sporadically I like to have the freedom and ability to slow things down on the spot, and it just captures better motion. Now, the Google Pixel 3 XL has 4K 30 frames per second, and you can shoot at 1080 60, but there's a caveat. The Google Pixel 3 XL actually picks the frame rate for you. So by default, you can hit the little A for frame rate and switch it down to 1080 30 frames per second. But when you switch to auto frame rate, it can actually go up to 1080 60 frames per second. Now, the phone decides which is the best frame rate for you based on the lighting conditions. Aside from that, the video quality and the picture quality are amazing on the Google Pixel 3 and the iPhone XS Max. So regardless of the phone of preference, you're going to be able to capture the moment. It's crazy that in 2018 we have devices that can shoot 1080p 60, 4K 30, or 4K 60. and you can get some really cool cinematic shots. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you have any questions, suggestions, drop them down there so we can continue to create relevant content for you. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me today. We'll catch you on the next one.